In this video, we will demonstrate the exterior finish for Grand Lux restaurant. It mimics a limestone finish. We'll be demonstrating what he's going over is a primed 100% with finish primer rolled over a base and mesh coat. And now he's applying the first coat of Antiqua lime plaster. How thick would you say?
What's that?
How thick would you want to describe?
You're running it tight. You don't hear the sound of your trowel.
Okay.
Tight coat. Hey, baby.
Just move around the edges. Dennis, would you normally do around the edges?
What?
Would you normally do around the edges like that?
Yeah, because what's going to happen is all those are in panels. They're all with milk core.
Okay.
An expansion. So this is exactly what you'd be doing the job. And you always do this on any job, around the eaves, around the windows, and then I'm going to float it the same direction as the finishing texture. Line it, just like what it's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be easier. You know what we did in the room there? See, all of those, it's like cheesecake, they're all broke up into panels, you know? Makes sense, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
The first coat is floated in a horizontal manner and it is dried completely overnight. And then you're going to mist the wall. You can use a Hudson sprayer, a nice even mist, before applying the second coat of Antiqua.
The masking's all falling off. Tell them it's going to allow us working time.
Misting the wall in between coats of Antiqua allows you more working time to apply your second coat. For your second coat, apply a horizontal coat of Antiqua. It's a heavier coat, approximately a 1/16 of an inch, but we're going to be working a texture into that coat, so it does need to be applied a little heavier than normal.
I could probably go to
After you've applied a heavier second coat, compress it in a horizontal trowel motion. At this point, the Antiqua will still be very wet.
see how the line.
At this point, you're going to see some lines in the material that are created when you compressed it horizontally. That's fine. We're going to use a dragging tool to create our texture now, so we'll need that extra material on there to create the dragging texture. Our product here, our Antiqua, has set probably about 15 minutes, but it's really going to depend job by job on the weather. You're going to want to work away from the sun. If it's directly in the sun, you might need to tarp the area to keep that moisture in there. But he's dragging the plaster on the edge of the tool and creating a horizontal pitted look. He's using a 12-inch trowel, chrome plated, and pulling it with a very light pressure. The pattern that we put in the first coat of Antiqua was created when you used the float in a horizontal motion and created those horizontal drag lines. Well, now as he's dragging the second coat, it's pulling along those drag lines and helping to create that pitted horizontal texture. So it's important to create that texture on the first coat so that on the second coat you can drag the texture along with the trowel. It'll be slightly uneven and organic, each line. There will be occasionally some little small cat faces. At this point, we're going to let the material sit for a little while and take up, because if we hard troweled it right now, we would lose all that texture because the Antiqua is still very moist. When you compress it, you want to make sure that it's dry enough that you'll still have that texture in there. Now he's lightly compressing the Antiqua. Areas will be a little bit smoother and other areas will stay very pitted. This will be done after the material has set up slightly. It just depends on the weather of where you are. Anywhere between 10 to 25 minutes. If you've compressed the second coat and you notice some areas are too smooth, you can come back with your trowel on the edge and open them up again to create that dragged pitted texture. It's important to have that drag texture throughout the sample because we're going to be troweling another material, Epica Spatulato, a thin coat into this wet second coat. And we need that texture of the second coat of Antiqua to show through. He's using a really light touch with the trowel and just dragging it to create those pits and horizontal movement. The second coat of Antiqua with the texture has had time to firm up. So now he's troweling in Epica Spotolato, and he's going to compress it into that wet second coat. You will see the Antiqua coming through, the Epica Spotolato, it's pulled tight. And occasionally there'll be some voids that the Antiqua will show completely through, creating a limestone texture. Once you go further down the wall, you can close up any voids if you have too many and just create the look that you want. But everything at this point is going to be troweled horizontal.
Always.
Occasionally he adds a little bit of more material as needed. He's compressed all the Spotolato into the second coat of Antiqua, and now that it's in and filled any voids and he likes the way it looks, he's taking his trowel and lightly burnishing the Spotolato, smoothing it out and giving it a slight sheen.
See, that clear seal is doing a real nice sheen. You know, Gilbert? You don't have to do that.
The next day you can come back and burnish it to a desired sheen. Like a 45-degree angle with the chrome trowel, and just follow in a horizontal pattern, burnishing across the wall.
We're burnishing right now on the video that it's Monday. It's Tuesday. She said next day.
These are the tools that you'll be using for the Grand Lux exterior limestone finish. First is a 10 to 12 inch trowel, beveled edge, chrome plated. Also a standard green float to create your float horizontal texture. And then lastly, we have a 7-inch, maybe 7 to 8 inch chrome plated trowel that you'll use to burnish the spotolato.